Hey, and welcome to Lasers and Lace. Today we have CCP Alpha, and as always, we have the lovely Delana and myself. And because I feel like we haven't been playing it enough lately, we're gonna play our intro.
Welcome to Lasers and Lace. You've got Delana and Ivy
And Mal's not here.
and Mal and sometimes Rain. Subscribe for free on Twitch TV with Prime Gaming. Laser. Well,
We even had Sasha in there. Like, we heard the little meow at the end. Like, there we go. We did the
She wanted
thing.
to sing.
So, as those who have joined us in the past, we are doing the people behind the keyboards, behind the scenes, and getting to know CCPers as who they really are versus all of this like grr CCP or horrible people. So, my lovely good friend CCP Alpha decided to join us today, and we're gonna run him over the rails and make pew pew sounds and not be all like, grr, CCP, why are
if
you
you
taking money from the noobs? Ooh, I threw that in there. Sorry, guys. But no, we're gonna not grr CCP, and we're gonna learn about the person behind the keyboard. So welcome, welcome.
Yeah, we're gonna be nice.
Maybe.
hello.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. It doesn't have to be CCP related. You know, your background.
I'm a Russian-born New Zealander who lives in Iceland.
A Russian-born New Zealander who lives. How does that
That's a
work?
lot of places.
It's what happens when you born in Russia and then you immigrate when you're 16 and you live in New Zealand for 11 years and then you immigrate to Iceland
How
to
long have
work.
you been in Iceland?
Yeah, 9 years.
Wow.
Wow. So you're
Uh,
up there. You're getting up there also.
yeah,
Have you always been with CCP while you were in Iceland?
yes,
Oh.
yes, the
Oh, so you get like
entire
one more
time.
year and then you get your sword or whatever?
Or a bicycle,
Or
What?
electric bicycle.
You get
oh,
to
that's
choose
cool
between
though.
an electrical bicycle or a sword? I thought it was always just a sword.
No, we have several things to select from.
Okay,
It
now I
used
want
to
to
be
know what the
just a
list is.
sword. It used to be just a sword.
Because we only
Well,
know about the
you now
swords.
know there's a bicycle, but like I
That's a
don't know if I
tough
consider
choice.
it.
It's like, would you have an electric bicycle? I don't know. I'd kind of want a sword. That's
I
kind of
mean,
cool.
those electric bicycles are expensive.
He's like, and now
Like
he's
the
the official
sword,
translator for
I'm
IBeast.
more of a gun person, as Evie probably knows,
Mm.
so
Check the
swords are not
fucking tits.
quite my thing.
Thank you,
Mm.
honey, for subscribing. Kisses. Mwah. Uh, oh my god, the gun range was so much fun in Vegas.
Yeah, yeah,
That picture.
So-
That
yeah.
that
Well,
picture.
the picture is Hilmer and RPG. I sometimes see it. I'm like, yeah, that happened. That actually did happen.
It and the thing is like, okay, like we went to the gun range and the man was a freaking beast with he's like do 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 bullseyes, next gun, do 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 bullseyes, and we're like, what the hell? And then later that night at the axe throwing, none of us could get the freaking axe to stick in the board, and Hilmar goes, what? It's not hard. Takes whoof, bullseye, and we're like, what the hell, man? He's just a machine. Oh my god.
He's an actual Viking.
No shit. So you get
Yeah.
to choose between a sword, an ecological bite, and you get to choose between a gun. Like you get a gun.
No, the gun. Well, one of my colleagues got a shotgun for 20th anniversary.
Well, didn't Hilmar also get a broadsword for his 20th?
Yeah, oh yeah, Hilmer chose a broadsword over the gun, if I remember correctly.
Well, I'd want a broadsword too over a
Yeah,
shotgun.
these are the
Like,
coolest. Like, my dad was showing me his company's catalog that you get like
Mhm.
at certain years, and you just
Right.
get like a TV or something. I'm like, man, I want a sword, or even the option be like, look, you can get a sword.
and like if you go with the sword, but you guys get to choose how your sword looks also. Like you get to choose different hilts
Yeah,
and
yeah. So yeah, if you look at all the swords that are at the
they're all
office, because
different.
that's where we have to basically keep them since we own basically a club. Well, Hilmer is the chairman of the club. They're all kind of different. There are some that are similar, but yeah, you can select basically from, can't remember how many, 4 or 5 different styles, I think.
Huh.
Like but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah,
So,
there's like definitely a few styles you can pick from.
so are you getting an electric bike or are you gonna get a sword?
I'm gonna try and go for the bicycle because I would use it more. And
That's
I
fair.
had a really bad story with Matex bicycles. So I kind of thought I will have a electric bicycle by now, but I don't. So I kind of want to have
So what
that one.
happened?
What happened to the bicycle? Well, it's long story short. After many delays, the container with the bicycle arrived to Iceland,
Mm-hmm.
and then customs would not release it because it didn't have any CE markings, which is basically
Oh no.
yeah. And then
So were
after
you
going
out
back
all
and
that
forth
money?
with it, huh?
Were you out all that money?
Uh, so well, I did get a refund basically, but at some point they basically were issuing refund. They were like, hey, like his refund. By the way, a store here that potentially they sold those bicycles to in the first place, like has them. So if you would like to like buy it from them, here's like 20% off, and like the cost of bicycle, the difference is like almost double from what I paid versus that. So 20% does not do much.
Yeah.
So I was just like, no thanks.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I apologize.
Yeah.
Hi, Keepstar. Hi. That yeah.
So,
So when you sorry, before you got to Iceland, were you always into like video games? Like, was there a certain one you were playing, or was the whole gaming concept new to you when you got to Iceland?
it wasn't new to me. In fact, I've played EVE Online back in 2004
Mm-hmm.
on trial, and then after unsuccessful esports career in Battlefield 2, I've gone back into EVE Online in 2007,
Yeah.
and I've been playing it ever since. Continuously as part of like major alliances, and yeah, and also was on CSM 6.
Were you?
So yeah, I was on CSM 6, and in fact after
Wow.
CSM 6 is when I joined CCP as a game master.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting to see how kind of people kind of progress up the corporate ladder. So other than
Yeah.
Eve, were there any other games you were playing before that? Like Delana's like big into WoW. Where did you play WoW? Did you like the game like the first
I
person
tried
shooters?
playing WoW.
WoW's
I
hard.
didn't.
Well, not
I
hard,
tried
it's
playing WoW
boring.
with friends, but like I found it kind of boring. But it's also because before EVE Online, I've played, Lineage 2. I played various other, Warhammer Online as well. I think Warhammer Online had great potential, and I was kind of sad when like they basically shut down the doors, but like they had so much potential and so many interesting game mechanics that I feel pioneered in MMORPG market at that time.
Mhm.
I've played, yeah, Aeon Online. I played a lot of MMORPG, like a lot of them uh, being similar in the way that it's a bow, it's a sword, it's a shield, all of those things. And I feel like just kind of got tired of it, like of
Mhm.
the stabby MMO games, and I wanted the pew pew games. So
Pew pew pew.
that's why I stuck with EVE Online, I think, the most. Plus, I played Freelancer uh, in previous years, and Freelancer has been a pretty amazing game. It's on also quite, I feel, ahead of its time.
So,
Uh,
did you join CCP app specifically because of CSM6? Like you were like, I really like working with this company, I want to do more? Or how did you end up going from CSM member to CCPer?
yeah, so at the time when I was CSM6, I wasn't thinking about like joining CCP or anything like that. I was working for a web hosting company, doing like basically it was like three-man team running a web host company that covered websites for energy companies in New Zealand and various like big entities and small entities in New
Mhm.
Zealand. And it was basically kind of like a skeleton crew. So I had to do system administration, answer phones, like do maintenance, like new installation of hardware and so forth. So it was quite an interesting job. Like every day was different. And at that time, my job was my work. The company was being bought out by a competitor, basically, and I basically didn't want to moved to another city to stay with that company, with the new company, and I was basically between jobs. So I either had to move to Australia, and where a lot of my friends at the time already moved to, and try the job market there because the pay is better there and the climate is obviously like hotter,
Mm-hmm.
or try something else. And I went to FanFest 2012, and that's where basically my mentor at the time, CP Spitfire, he said, "Hey, like we have no Russian GMs, or like would you like to basically apply for this position
Mm-hmm.
that's opening up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's try it. So, and hopefully move up somewhere afterwards." And I did. I basically applied. I'm not gonna go into like long details of what happened, but I eventually got the job offer towards basically I think July or
Mm-hmm.
so that year, and yeah, I moved end of August. I flew into Iceland. Basically in the same year of FanFest, once again flew from New Zealand to Iceland, and yeah, and started working as a game master.
Wow.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting how people go from, again, player to CCP. Or like, I'm not gonna lie, there's been a couple of postings I've thrown my stuff at, but I have no
It's how you
computer
finish
back.
the game, Evie. It's just how you finish the
I,
game. You
I
like
know, I know,
you
right?
ascend, you
It's like,
ascend to CSM,
but
and then after that you
I
ascend
don't
to
have any like
CCP.
game assistance. Like, okay, I do Eve North, but I'm a nurse. But why do you want to work at this gaming company? What useful skills do you bring? Well, if you get a boo boo, I can fix you. Like, there you go. I can organize one hell of an event. Like, come on, guys. Like, bring me on, bring me on.
And I
But
know a lot of the other CCP guys um have some other kind of background. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
I
know
Yeah.
honestly,
Burger
after,
was like about architecture. I
yeah,
know like for CCP Falcon was like he worked in like engineering or something before he
oh,
came to
Yeah, yeah,
CCP.
yeah. He was. Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff.
Burger
Like
showed his freaking 3D architect mask things that he created for his kids for Halloween. Those are badass. Like, he's got down to a fine art. Um, but no, I actually after FanFest 2017, I actually looked into moving into Iceland just as like a nurse. But
Mm-hmm.
having to learn Icelandic in 6 months, that scared the shit out of me because Icelandic seems like a very hard,
Mm.
difficult language to learn. I'm like,
It can be.
pass,
Yeah.
well, I
Can
mean,
be.
would you have
pass.
had to learn that? I
It
know
was one of
like
the it was one of the prereqs on the
You have
employment.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a nurse, you have to speak Icelandic.
okay, as a nurse, yeah. 'Cause I know
Yeah,
like
for
just for
sure.
CCP, I know Fozzie has said like I've been here like 10 something whatever years. I've never even learned it.
I don't know. I
Well, if he finds the right, lady, he might learn it.
I'm taken. Sorry guys. Somebody put a ring on it. I'm taken. But you can't burn Ivy out. Don't, please don't. Low high res. She's an event planner, which CCP lacks hard. CCP has burned out their last 6. You can't burn Ivy out. Please don't make false promises. Ivy does have limits. I really
Uh,
do. I just, with my trauma background, I handle stress very well, but even I have limits where I'm just done. So, but anyways, okay, back to you. Not me, not me. Because Delana and I could go down like the event planning rabbit hole, and then you're gonna
Oh
completely
yeah,
lose us, and we're gonna squirrel.
yeah. I
Which we are.
remember that, like in Toronto,
It was awesome. I like.
and also
I
when we
Eve New
were like
Orleans is
when we were
happening in
clubbing, and
August.
you were just like, "I have had it."
Even though I haven't done as much as the planning, but we have Eve New Orleans happening in August.
Do you want to
And
know
I'm
what,
hyped.
Delana? If things like for myself, like Canada is just stupid. They've like, don't get me wrong. They've said now that we can travel as long as we're fully vaccinated, which is great. But Canada's still grumpy with if you travel, so I don't want to risk it. And
Hmm.
if I do risk it, I might do Vegas. But even that is, I'm like, I'd rather go to Iceland. They had hot springs and geysers. I love that sign. Do not touch nearest hospital 400 kilometers away. Okay, so what have you done? So you started as a game master for the Russian community. You're doing, as I just discovered, a Russian stream, which you haven't watched my show, I haven't watched yours, so now we're even. Uh,
I'll
but
try watch your show from now on. I'll
if
have
you want
some work to do.
nonsense and squirreling, me and Delana, like, we'll go off on
A
random.
little bit. Like we do actually talk about
I mean, I
the
watch
actual
open comms,
topics.
so it's like it's not
Yeah,
gonna
but
be
open comms talks about like Eve related stuff, whereas we don't
not
always
always. Come
do
on.
Eve related. No, but we don't. We don't. Like we talk about whatever the hell we feel like
Open
talking
comms
about.
starts with if stuff and then it goes into like all kinds of various politics and like
Yeah, but we don't do politics
stories,
either.
real stories, and who
Yeah, like
knows.
We have ISD Shogol. Hi. If I
Hi.
butchered your name, I'm sorry. So what? So you started out as a game master. You
Yeah.
worked up to. So what
Senior
did you?
game master.
So senior. So what is your progress? Because what I see within CCP now, is like you guys move around a lot. So what have you done in your 9 years with CCP?
Depends. In my 9 years, I've been game master. Then I became senior game master after I think a few years. Then after that, I mean, in parallel to like being a game master and senior game master, I obviously was working on like some community stuff. Like I did
Mhm.
commentating of like alliance tournaments. I've done also I've launched VK, the Russian Facebook. I launched the EVE Online page there and
Mhm.
started growing that up. So I've done like several projects on the side as I sort of did like my main job as answering support tickets from Russian players and English players as well. Afterwards, I wanted to move into basically more sort of e-commerce side of for EVE Online, and that's how eventually I transitioned into sales. Business is basically business development, partnership, and sales
Mhm.
department. Worked there from basically a sales specialist to business development specialist. And after that, since the department kind of uh, shrunk, I basically decided to move into brand management,
Yeah.
into CCP's brand management as a marketing specialist. And that's what I do these days,
So
amongst other things.
you're doing community work. You're
Yeah,
streaming for the Russian community,
yeah,
and now you're doing branding. So
yeah.
how would you describe branding to the players? Because again, we hear about brands, all automatically think of okay, CCP. They're selling CCP. It's like, does this include like I think I asked you pre-show? Does this include like swag and
Mm-hmm.
events, or if somebody's like, hey, I want to run something and I want to throw your stuff all over it, like how exactly does your job as brand manager work?
Uh, we have several brand managers. My title is not brand manager, but I sort of encapsulate the gaming knowledge and experience in marketing specifically and knowing the industry. And I use that knowledge to help create assets, creative assets such as the copy, so like a news item, the key art for that, like various banners, to basically entice and like help bring players in, make them excited for like any kind of feature that we're releasing or an
Mhm.
event, and yeah, just get players to come and play. I guess that's what I like to do.
So where do you look then for your ideas for getting people in? Like, are you scouring like the Facebook pages? Like, I remember like let's be honest, Facebook
Like
pages.
me put my Sherlock Holmes hat and
Yeah, like
no, it's so we have like a different team that does advertisement and all that. So they bringing players through that. I also help with that by managing Steam
mhm.
platform, and what we do there is promotions also with Steam, where we have promotions that entice players within the Steam platform to come and play EVE Online. Also look at what like other companies obviously in the industry are doing, what methods they're using, and if those ideas worth obviously doing, if there's value in them, then I bring this up with the team and we basically take it forward from there.
that's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo on what you do with the
Is
Steam
it?
and
Is
the
it? It
file.
does it sound legal?
Oh
Because
well, you know, like
I'm sure it
we gotta
doesn't
do
because
we gotta
I
do
work with a
branding
lawyer.
and see what. Man,
And-
man, branding. No, no, no.
and
Uh, I've idea's gone. Sorry, Delana hit him.
Next.
I
I
know.
don't know. I
No,
was
but
just
it's super cool, like I helped create the like with the creative team, like I helped create the key arts, which you see the vibrant colors of the skins of ships, you see like the messaging behind it and like the cool names for the patch, and you kind of want to get into the game and start playing. It doesn't work on everybody, obviously, but I hear it does work on some.
Lohires is asking, when do you have time for fun?
Good question. After work, but like after work, I also like play with players on Tranquility or on Serenity server. But lately, I have had a lot of busy hours working basically on the quadrant stuff. Particularly, you can see that with the Minmatar basically released now, and we
That
have
video that
stuff
came out,
upcoming later on.
did you have anything to do with that Mimitar video that just came out?
uh, Sadly, no.
Oh,
I
I was
have
gonna say, I'm sorry, bud. That video was
had
like,
very little to do with it.
whoever did
Yeah,
that, you need to pass it along. That video was kick
yeah,
ass. It was good.
yeah. We showed it to the company like beforehand, and like everybody just loved it. Yeah, the team I feel like went beyond. Basically, they went with a concept that we haven't had before. It
Mhm.
was like this like behind the scenes of like the character
It
uh,
was kick
story,
ass.
and filming it from basically the ground, like the planet, uh, in,
I'm,
in
I'm
in
not gonna
such a
lie,
way.
when I saw the whole planety part of it, I was like, oh, are they gonna make it so that we can like walk in stations and like go down to planets and crap? Because that would be kick ass. And then I was like, no, it's just Mimitar versus Amar. Because Amar is mean. Amar's gross.
Mm.
Okay, so I live in Toronto. I
Hmm.
do. And the other day, I kid you not, speaking of Mimitar, I kid you not, I wish I could have gotten my phone out fast enough. There was this car ahead of us, and the dude had duct taped the entire thing. Like, there was not a spot on this car. I'm like, who in their right mind duct tapes their entire car? And then I wanted to pull up beside them and be like, yo, do you play Eve? Because like, the,
Uh,
the
it's a
entire
cheap
it
car.
could be a
way.
prank. It
It's
could
a
be a
cheap
prank.
way of making your car silver.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's also a way.
I bet it was a bad
True.
silver job at that, but all I'm like in rust, we trust. Like, dude, was your car taking off the road? Because if so, like too many rust spots, and you're like, I'll fix this. Just don't
Yeah,
touch
it's
over
like
there.
a bunch of scratches in the paint, and you're like, oh, just tape over it.
Just curious to know what the police thought when I saw that.
I don't know. I don't know what would happen if you duct tape your car and you get pulled over. Like,
Well, I mean, as
no,
long as you're
Delana, it
not
was
covering
bad.
any of the lights, I
It
feel
was,
like I don't
it
know
was
how much it
bad.
was like.
It wasn't a good job. It was bad. Like, it was
Oh,
really bad.
I don't know.
he might get pulled over.
Shut up.
Delana's taking it for him
Alarm!
though.
Alarm!
It was like the hour after like my alarm to like get up and get ready for the show, and
I was like,
it
was
Oh,
that
repeated
your,
nice.
hey,
itself.
it's time to wake up from your nap?
Yeah, I think I took a little nappy after work. So yeah, but now we're up and going.
Woot woot. I know, I'm actually kind of shocked and surprised that
Look
I
like your
managed to get the
6-year-old
stream
did
to
it.
work properly. Like, this is a first. We had a few hiccups, Mal. Few hiccups, but I managed to make it work.
I shall
So
talk.
we did
But
good.
now it looks like it's
Nice.
working fine. I mean,
I had to take the
and we
frames
had
away.
sound.
We have sound. People can hear us.
Yeah, like almost every time I try to host it, I always forget like some sound settings. So we talk for like 5 minutes, and everybody's like, "We can't hear you."
So I thought about that as I was getting everything set up, and we were like chatting away, and then I just happened to glance at like the mixer and saw that none of the bars were moving. I'm like, oh crap! I gotta fix that. Otherwise, we would have had no sound either, and it would have been another unsuccessful day at Lasers and Lace.
Yeah, because it's probably had an update since the last time I opened it, and every
It
time it
did.
updates,
It updated. It did the things.
and then it resets all my audio settings every time.
Well, I think the other thing too is because we're using Streamlabs that it saves the last person who used it. So every time we each log in, it's the other person's settings. So then that's why we
It does
keep
that
changing.
sometimes, but other times, like every input was like disabled, disabled, disabled.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, Lil
Hey.
Iris is making fun of you.
Hey, who comes to who when they can't get their computer to work? Oh,
I mean, I
really?
don't really do a lot of computer stuff, so I wouldn't really know
Hey, babe,
either.
I
But
bought this new video card. How do I make it work? Well, let's put it into the computer to start, hon. Don't make fun of me, asshole. Anyways,
okay.
so you're also doing community work. Yeah. Squirrel.
By the way, I'm still here.
I know. That's why I'm like, okay, let's go. We're getting back to it.
It was good sideways.
I told you
Segue. I mean.
we squirrel.
Uh,
I
it's-
squirrel.
it's-
This is why people tune in because I'm amusing. I'm told, but you know it is what it is. Hi Tim.
mhm,
So you're also doing community work also on top of the branding. So how
Yes.
would you say your like what do you do? Like we know the community team. We know the mains. What are you doing other than just are you helping at the events? Or are you helping planning stuff? Like what do you do for the community team?
Well, it's a good question.
I'm known to have one or two.
I do help community team like as like brand representative. I kind of help there like with some decision making and suggestions, but at the same time we work also together on getting ideas for like events, like when to do contests, things like that. I run contests on VK. Sometimes we mirror those to Facebook and forums. I've run events as well, like if they're in Russia. I ran 2019 uh, invasion tour in St. Petersburg, did the keynote there, presentation, and a few other things. Yeah, and I just keep an eye on the community, talk to the community on streams, talk to community on Discords
Hear
and
what
on
we want to
VK.
rant about? uh,
uh,
I'm
I,
not
I
gonna
I
lie.
like to think people used to me by now,
Well,
more or less.
you're very approachable. I'll give you that. Like you're definitely one of the people. Like at the Eve meets, every time I'm like, Alva, oh my god, and then I run over and give you a hug because I'm a hugger. So like, let's be real
Yeah.
here. But you know, ask Alpha if he is a Mako model because he looks good.
Thank you.
He's got the
I, tr-
whole
I,
like,
tr- I tried to keep my skin well saturated. At
oh,
least
a
my
male
girlfriend
model.
tells me I have to, but
Are you a
I'm
male
lazy.
Why
model?
male models?
I liked Mako. I was like, what the hell's a Mako? But this sounds cool.
Uh,
That's bears though. What? Oh my gosh.
Branding is fun. I really like to see like players' reactions to
oh, that
what we
beard,
do.
I think
It's,
is what they're saying. It's the nice beard you got.
It's, needs a trim.
yeah, but
Uh,
you're rocking it. You're rocking it. What? Okay, what's wrong with the chat? You're in a lasers and laced show. That's what's wrong with the chat.
Oh
Like,
yeah, he's struggling with the spelling. His own spelling is what he's doing.
yeah, it is. Um, so again, we were talking about branding, and then I think branding, and I go to swag. But you
yeah.
don't do anything to do with swag?
I pitch ideas to swag,
Female
and
apparel.
I pitch
Cute
swag, and
shirts.
I also
Rainbow rook.
harass slightly the basically store manager by telling her like when is this coming, when is this coming, when is this coming, when is this
Good.
coming, when are you changing that, when you change.
Okay, all I'm gonna
So
say is
kind of stay on her case basically to do stuff, and
That's good.
like I said before, like in the pre-show, we're like working on trying to get more choices and things like that.
I feel like there's a lot of things that you guys had in the past, which again, I understand there's a limited edition, da 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 da. But I
Hmm.
feel that if some of that stuff came back in other options, you'd potentially have sales again. But I understand, printing stuff out is costly and there's expenses and da 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 da. But I'm speaking as a female here. We do not like boxy t-shirts. We are not Boxes.
I know, because I have a bunch of CCP swag over the years, right? And
They're all boxes.
obviously,
They're boxes.
my fiance, she tries it on, and she's like not gonna be seen wearing anything like that,
No.
and she's like, these designs are awful and so forth, and I agree that we need more like
Like,
cool
don't get me
designs,
wrong.
like
A
not black
boxy
and
shirt
white
is
only.
great when you're crawling out of bed in the morning and you got like
Yeah,
a little bit of
that's
bum showing
definitely
and your
useful.
guys all like pinching at your butt. Like, okay, we're cool. But
Right.
I don't want to go in public
Yeah.
in a boxy shirt. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
know, like,
I totally get that though. I totally get that.
No,
And
Vlad, I am not getting in the box. I am out of the box. I am not going back in. Can't make me.
it's like I know we don't have as many female players as we do with
There's
the
a lot
guys,
of us.
but we
There's
exist.
a lot of us. Okay,
There's a bunch of us, especially
the
that
waifu.
show up to the events.
Look at the waifu Discord. There is a lot of us.
And I always go to the events and look at all like the swag area and look
Right.
at the stuff.
Yeah, I really liked the zippered 07 jacket that I bought
Mhm.
in 2019. That was phenomenal. And then I had my name embroidered on the side. So I think
Mhm.
even I don't know if it's even possible, but being able to add an option for embroidery and stuff like that on certain swags before you get it, like that. And then like crap, somebody on Facebook, I happen to know these people, and I don't know which name he goes by, so I don't want to AWOX him. But his wife made Garista Bunny socks. They were amazing. Like, and
Mhm.
she knitted them, and she made the pattern, and she said they took her forever. But like, I don't want Triglavian socks. I don't want Edencom
Right.
socks.
And I got the nice little like jacket thing, which
Yeah.
I mostly got
Is that the one
in
with the
Vegas.
07 on it?
It's just the one that says Eve Online. But
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Like I keep asking to have like nice basically designs. Like I've seen other companies that also in the space sort of business, like not necessarily space MMO, but it's space sci-fi genre, and their designs like are much nicer. They're colorful. They're designs. So like
I think you
we
need
have
a
done designs in
female
the past, but I feel like we stopped doing that, in the
But-
store.
as a
and
brand
like the whole
manager.
reason I got this in the first place, it was Vegas 2017, and
Mhm.
we were at the link, and we were going to all like presentation stuff, and it was freezing, and I was cold because for some reason, like I know in my
Vegas-
office is
Vegas
usually
was
all the
cold?
girls we get cold a lot easier, so it's just like I was so happy to like go get the sweater. I'm like, oh, this is so
Like,
good. Like I just
yeah.
went straight over to the swag table. I'm like, yo, got a good sweater.
Give me this. But no, I think you guys need as CCP as an unofficial brand swag committee of women, and we can give you our thoughts, feelings, and honest opinions.
Our store manager is female.
But why don't we have cute stuff then?
I don't know. Ask
CC, please. I don't. Who do I have to yell at?
Ask
Who do I have to yell at, Alpha?
CCP Oracle.
Ooh,
Okay.
I got her on Discord.
But
I'm
trust me,
gonna
I
DM
am
her.
on her case
Stuff.
already. Like,
You could be like, hey yo, Oracle, guess whose show I was on last time? I was on Ivy's. I'm gonna get Ivy after you too. She's worked with me in the past.
Yeah.
Just saying. She knows how I can get.
but like I want cooler designs and keyboard stickers, buttons, even like small stuff that people can like easily, get
Well, and
at
that's one of the
events.
things. Like, I was telling you earlier pre-show. Like, I have one of those Cricut vinyl cutter machines, and I have been
Mhm.
making my own swag because I can't get cute female swag. So I pulled off some permaband icons and I put them into my machine and I printed stuff out. But even the other thing too, like I wanted stickers, and you can't get it. So I made my own. So I stickered up my laptop. And I put my bunny, because I like my greased bunnies, and my permaband logo, and I made it all shiny because of permaband. But, like,
Yeah, some
those are
stuff
things
like I
that
got
know,
people
my
would want.
magnets. I
Mhm.
ordered my magnets. I got
Nice.
these as stickers, and of course I got. Well, of course we're going into swag stuff, but my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you mentioned that the sticker they have on your laptop. I actually know somebody who I think they printed one of the key arts and they like also like basically had the ordered a sticker out of it, and they have it on their laptop,
Mhm.
the camera, and it's not produced swag. They just like made it, and now they have it on their laptop. They carry it around the office
And like
as
my
well.
my work lanyard, my nursing lanyard, I've got my Eve North pin on it, and then I think what else do I have? I got my Sixth Empire pin on there, and people all the time are like, "What's on your lanyard?" And I'm like, "My pins, my swag." Because why not? Let's rock it at work.
So
And then
yeah,
no,
basically we're saying we like the stuff, we will buy it.
yes,
So let us give money to you.
yeah, we don't want to have to be a
For my
newbie
swag.
and lose a ship and get told by CCP, "Here's a pop-up, go buy more stuff." No,
Yeah.
CCP,
I'll
no.
buy your other things. Like
No.
I'll wear the
Yeah.
shirts, I'll wear the lanyards and the stuff.
Yeah.
I
Like
just
I
want to
said,
buy
I
it.
can't talk much about it, but like we are working on that
We're 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 we're,
front.
we're expressing our concerns. Okay, we had a
Right.
question for a little bit of caroning is needed. I agreed, Alana. I 100% agree. Vlad, you have not seen me pull a Karen. You can ask Mr. Lohires or anybody who's been at the receiving end of my tongue in not a fun way. It is, yeah, I'm sorry for you. And I will apologize in advance. I'll be like, you seem like a nice person, and I'm sorry about what is about to happen. And then yeah. But
That's a Canadian way of doing
it is. And yes, honey, if I keep asking for a rainbow rorqual skin, one day it may happen. One day. But what we had a question for you. What is your favorite part of working at CCP?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it a little bit, but it's seeing like all the work that I do like come to life, and like players really enjoy it. Like the key arts and the news items and sometimes videos.
We're not having things on Fox Vlad. You have no opinion here. You have no power tonight. What is one of your funniest event stories? Because I know you do go to quite a few of the events. What would you say is one of your funniest memories from the events? We like hearing about events.
Can anybody remember events?
Mostly.
It's like sometimes it can be a blur, to be
Yeah.
honest. Just because of the sheer imagery of like being in a new place, seeing lots of people throughout the day, seeing lots of presentations, or being in them, and then partying. It's
Hilmar with a
every
rocket
day.
launcher.
Yeah, shooting the machine guns and machine guns. Yeah, it could be literally, bro. I don't know about funny like moments. It's there's yeah.
What is one thing that
Hmm.
in the past you really wanted to tell CCP peoples? Like not employees, but like us as the players, and you're like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome. I really want to talk about it, but you couldn't. But now you can because it's been released or whatnot. Like, what is that like burning thing that you were just so excited to talk about, but you couldn't?
Hmm. I think the last thing is the Minimatar thing.
That's freaking awesome. It
The
really was.
event. It was quite a lot of fun. Where else would have been there? I think the Moscow Play Gathering. That was something that was not released, but got cancelled. And afterwards, I was basically like telling players, "Hey, like this was gonna be huge. We're gonna get Hilmer to come by and like make this huge Russian event. It was gonna be like 1,000 or more than 1,000 players at the
Wow.
event." And like I was working with a event organizing company, and we like booked like a huge place that normally hosts like big concerts and like
Mhm.
car basically unveilings, like here's a new like Volvo or whatever, like kind of events.
That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
it was gonna be super awesome in the heart of Moscow, next to the Moscow city
And then COVID.
place,
And then
and then it got
COVID.
all killed by COVID.
Oh, that's such a
Sadly,
shame.
sadly,
'Cause that sounds
it's not a
like
fun story, but
a
it's
big
it's
thing.
definitely an amazing thing that was gonna happen.
I
Maybe
think
eventually I would go to like
I,
one
I,
of the big things in Russia. That would be cool.
I want to go. Russia's definitely on my bucket list of things I want to go. But now now that I know that you speak Russian, Alpha, I'd be like, yo, Alpha, I want to go to Russia. When are you gonna go to Russia? Cause I want like to not, not get lost and know the language.
Yeah, well, the first country I'm going to like after this whole restriction stuff is more or less over is New Zealand.
It's also on my list of places I want to go. I hear it's beautiful.
That's
I don't want to go with you, Alpha. I'm sorry. Like I will give you a pass on that one. Russia, no.
enough.
New Zealand, sure. Like just you do you, boo. You do you.
I just want to be back in Iceland.
Yeah.
I was so sad when they canceled FanFest last
Alpha,
year.
can you still go to the Tank Museum as a U.S. citizen? That's on my list of things I want to do in Russia. And I don't even Kubanika. I don't want to butcher it even.
Kubica?
To the
Kubanika.
tank museum, I mean, I should be able to. I'm pretty sure they let anybody in who can buy a ticket.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think they would be that picky, but then
They
again,
want
I don't
Yeah.
know.
they want your money.
Yeah, believe it or not, they really want your money.
Like they want you to do the things and the places. Okay,
It's
guys,
so
we
the
have
minutes.
20 minutes left with Alpha because
Alright.
I don't want to keep him up to the crack of stupid when it's already late for him. Burning questions, comments, things. What do you want to know from our man here? Opening up the floor to the audience.
I'm trying to remember any funny stories still.
What's that? Remember that one time? No.
The stories that I can tell,
Do you have a bucket list?
Does he have a...
besides like coming up to like a room and like in Vegas and just like finding Hilmer absolutely passed out and taking a picture.
The give me a raise or, and Hilmar be like, post it. I dare you, post it.
I had no. I think I showed it to him like actually like when we were back. I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Hilmar would have to be like, you'd have to give him a lot of drinks to make it pass or something.
I don't
No,
know. I think
it was a hell of a night.
I think Hilmar's the type of person that if you did try to blackmail him, he'd just own that shit. He'd be like, do it. Like I'm gonna own that too, cause I'm a Viking. Like, come at me, bro.
I mean, basically, yeah. That's what the impression I get anyway. I took a picture next to him, and he's like so much taller.
Here's a good one. Do you have any goals to be able to put into Eve that you can be like, hey, that was my idea?
I do.
Are you allowed to talk about them?
I mean, over the years, as a GM, as just CCP worker that is passionate about the game, passionate about EVE Online, as well as the other products that I'm a stakeholder in. I've brought up like many ideas and like help like change things or like give my feedback to game designers such as CCP Forze, CCP Rise. I was part of the CCP Forces team back in the days, the 5.0, as well as a consultant on that team. And yeah, over the years, like I did, help make some changes to the game. The last change that I'm hoping that will be implemented probably next year. I sadly can't talk about it, but like it's in Talus's hands now, so to
Ooh.
speak. Yeah, but I try to help out where I can and where I see obviously the need to like, not that people don't have ideas. There's always plenty of ideas. It's about like how you implement them and how much what's the outcome, like what's the benefit out of it. So it could be sometimes a great idea but really hard to implement, or it could be a mediocre idea but like easy to implement but has like a good lasting impression on the game. So
I
you
think
win some battles, you lose some battles, so to speak.
I have a feeling there's a lot of we lost this battle going on.
I wouldn't say so. I think things have been going quite well, and we just have to give certain changes time, certain time for people to adapt to them as well. I'm an Eve player as well, and I mean I adapt to these changes. I know a lot of people who do the same thing. I guess some just don't want to try. I mean, think about any other MMORPG game. Like think about World of Warcraft. They redo a class or they change the class, and yeah, players don't like change, and
We
some
don't.
quit,
We
and
we
that's
really
normal,
don't.
and that's just how some people cope with the change. No, nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, that's
You can
when.
try, and we try to do it. We try to do it through like messaging where we explain very thoroughly, like at times, like why they changed, what's the what's the effect we want to see, what's the future like of this will be, and how beneficial, key point, beneficial to the players it will be, and the whole of EVE Online. And I see from time to time, like just a lot of people don't care about it. They just, they're just in and now. They live in the in and now, and anything that's like future to them is, non-existent.
Yeah.
Particularly, they're just like in the like, I want to have fun now. You ruin my fun now. You bad.
Yeah, but people don't think about what's coming down the line. Like, and
Mm.
just for Glennis Swift, I added Mal for you. She's down below. So there you go. There's your Mal. She's not here in person, but we've put a picture up of her.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, oh, the picture.
There's a couple of good questions here, but I'm gonna skip the first question because I really want to hear the answer to the second one. Is do you think that indie changes were for the best?
That's all changes. I still think they're for the best. Uh, People did not play EVE Online. A lot of people playing now did not play EVE Online back in 2000 and 5, 6, 7, 8, that kind of time when owning a Blingium Cariel or a Blingy
Was a
Nightmare
thing. It
was a
was an
thing.
accomplishment.
It was an accomplishment, and often there were people who knew what they're doing, right? You're not just gonna outfit ships like that and just to like go solo and like quickly lose it and like go and refit a new one.
No, because like
I
even
mean,
like
surely you
myself,
can do that, but there were a few people that would do that.
like
Most
for
people flying them were pretty good.
yeah, and like and again, I'm still a newer player. Like I didn't start until 2016, so I am still very much an Eve baby in terms of Eve players. But hearing the stories of how hard it was to get a Titan or a Carrier or a
Mm-hmm.
Dread, and as somebody who went pure industrial, like my bread and butter is making was making capitals, and I
Mm-hmm.
was pumping out like 100+ revs a week, and it was
That's
easy.
insane.
It was easy.
That's
So
insane to me because of
with
that.
the industry changes now, like I'm like, can I get out two or three? Like this is hard. So it definitely gave me a new respect for the people who it took months and months and months to do a Titan, because
Yeah.
it's not just me, doing 20 accounts of click, 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 poof, there's 40 ships.
Yeah. I did industrial, like exactly that for Legion of Death back in 2010. I was helping pump out capital dreads
Mm-hmm.
and later on faxes as well for the alliance, and we were doing maybe I don't know 8 a month or
Wow.
something like that. Like it was, yeah, it was you needed a lot of minerals. You needed hellishly hellish amount of titanium, and it wasn't easy. And at some point, I was just like building from like collecting with the jump freighter the tags basically. So like when you used to reprocess on stations, you'd collect the reprocessed tags in minerals when you reprocess. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like based on like how much money it costs to reprocess stuff. So I'd collect those like buildup of those minerals as taxes in the corporate hangar and basically move them to where would build capitals and like use those minerals to construct those capital materials and eventually create dreadnoughts. But yeah, it was a difficult process, but you had a sense of accomplishment. Like you were like hey, I collected 1 billion of tritanium from all of drone regions into
All
this
of drone
township
regions.
to put things in. Yeah, back then we owned drone regions. Put it all into one station, like, and produce like this, like, beautiful, amazing capitals that powerful destroyers of Titans structures and other dreadnoughts.
Uh,
And I feel like people forgot this feeling.
Low
You
Hires,
know?
my Titan's Paws was refed 8 times in its build, and each time my heart was always like, this is how I lose 130 bill.
Yeah, yeah, that was the reality, indeed. But nowadays, you have people who rat in super carriers who barely know the game.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's
and
I'm not gonna lie. I do have a problem with injectors, like just a little bit one.
mm,
Um, but I honestly, even though I have partook a little bit and have not maxed out multiple tunes in their skill trainings and have every skill in the game, but I do feel that skill injectors, m- while I understand the concept behind them, I feel they ruined the game in other aspects for as you have to be careful because when you see a 4-day-old tune in local, is this a 4-day-old tune or is this a
it's
4-day-old
ibis
tune
alt,
who's a, like a black ops dropper? Like
right?
you don't know. Hey, don't talk
Yeah.
about my injector addiction. Don't. Shh.
But
Shh.
it's like, but like it's also, you should be afraid of anybody, right? In space, like, at the same time. Yes,
High
it's a
sec is
4-day-old
scary.
character. Hmm?
High sec is scary.
Yeah, but it's 4-day-old character if it's in low sec or in null sec, you should be afraid of it anyway because you don't know what the character could be doing. So like but as in you should expect something uh rather than being afraid. But
I don't
in
know.
high sec, it's fine. It's just high sec.
No, high tech is scary, man, because you never know who's gonna turn around and gank you and just, cargo scan you and get you screwed later. Um, Redline
That's
stated,
true.
I think one, and this is going back to the previous topic we were on, I think one of
Hmm.
the big problems is that we don't get to see what's coming in the future. We see the now, but we're not allowed to
Hmm.
see what's behind the curtains.
Well, is it true because like we announced what the industry changes will be, and that they will be coming in stages,
Those stages
and when
sucked.
when those stages to expect, and that goes without saying for like all the other like big things that we're like creating, except for obviously the invasion. Like that was, that had to be more story driven and more player driven kind of thing where we could not reveal, anything about like what's happening, why haven't wanted players to see it, wanted the players to talk about it. That's all about generating content within the game
Mm-hmm.
and outside the game. So like there are things certainly we want to tell people about ahead of time, and there is actually a thing coming up soon which we will tell people ahead of time. And economy is one of those things where we want people to prepare. We want them to to know what's coming, to know what the changes are. That's why we released a bunch of spreadsheets, literally spreadsheets for how things will look, after the initial changes and where we're trying to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work to like basically create all this documentation for players, so to speak. To like basically make it sound less,
Especially when we like the
technical,
spreadsheets.
less game designy, and actually understandable as a player. But we try to help. No, we don't announce roadmap, and that's true. We stopped like doing this far in advance, and there's a reason to that because we want to be able to respond to changes better. Like instead of like, hey, we have like this roadmap of like 1-2 years ahead, and we can't respond to any of your feedback and update things we implemented based on that feedback. Hunters. Boon is the thing where we wanted to iterate on the recent updates, and if we were like adhering to a certain roadmap, we wouldn't be able to, go back and like update things and make
Mm-hmm.
everyone's lives better. So there is a reason for that. why we no longer have like huge like long-term announcements,
Yeah.
but we try to announce things which we know matter to players, that they need to know beforehand, to prepare. Otherwise, like, there needs to be some mystery in the game, as well. Like you can't just
Know
Eve
all the
is,
things.
Eve is Eve, she needs to have some mystery.
We've got two more questions for you, and then we're gonna call it a night because I know it's really really late for
Mm.
you. First one is how much of your Eve playtime is work related, and how much of it is you just having fun doing whatever you want?
That's that's a good question. So there can be times when I'm like kind of get lost in like testing something out as a player or as a developer on like test server, and I can be like playing like both testing and then like playing with players on a test server for a while. I would play with friends and basically like uh and like outside work, but also out
Sorry, my
do
my kid's just hot dropping in on the stream.
nice.
She has FX'd her face. She says she's a cow, but she looks like a tiger cow because she's got like stripes going and like little horns.
Nice.
Sorry that we interrupted the stream. We got squirrel.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, and basically just like sometimes in the process it becomes work because I've spot a bug or something like that, and I like
Create a
create a bug
ticket.
report
Be like,
or
this is how to
defect
fix
about
this.
it or report some illicit activity in the game. But
So
that's
illicit activity. So what happens if you're on like your own legit character and you work for CCP and you're like that dude's botting? Like, can you just like zip 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 done banhammer, or does it have to
uh,
go through a process also?
since I'm no longer a GM, I can't really do that, and GMs have obviously a policy of how they go about these things.
Yeah.
No, but like I can let the team security know, the team that's responsible for current bots. And normally what I do, I don't target players, like as in like I don't target like single characters,
Mhm.
because these are organizations, these are corporations that involved in this. Like it will be basically me reporting after looking some things up, obviously, like reporting, like creating a more constructive report on like this like particular bot network, so to
Yeah.
speak, and having them look at it. That way, it's like a faster process. But that team also takes a look at bot reports that players send out through the in-game.
Okay, last question, and then we're gonna let you go to bed because again, I know it's really, really stupid. Redline asks another good one. What does a healthy economy look like to you? Ooh.
Healthy economy. It's a tough question because I'm like e-commerce, which I'm not much of a economist, so to speak. I just everything that's has to be perfect has to be just perfectly balanced. Like it's all about the balance.
Do you feel
Uh,
that the ore redistribution was too harsh and maybe it needs to be scaled back a
uh,
little bit?
it it is a bit harsh, and I know the team is looking into it already, and
I
they're
like this answer.
monitoring closely the prices of the minerals
Mhm.
uh, on the market. They're closely monitoring it, and uh, I'm sure they will like spawn into action. Given where it's at right now, I'm sure they're like getting ready to do something like that.
Mhm.
But like I feel like the economy needs to be balanced. Needs to be, both risk versus reward
Yeah.
balance. There needs to be balance, in terms of like the money going into the game, like in terms of plaques, like so the plaques price needs to be, coherent and stable. The amount of ISK generated versus ISK sinks needs to be, fairly balanced as well, so people don't feel like they're being robbed of like anything they spend hours on making,
Yeah.
but like still they have enough money, to buy next trip, or try and like ret a little bit, and like ret for like couple of days or less, even like to afford subscription, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it keeps the economy circulating, it keeps the life and death of like the spaceships going, and keeps people
He's
happy,
I
and
so
I'm gonna put it right there. That's your handiwork.
yeah, I've been making swag, and my honey has put me to work with doing his alliance logo lately.
nice.
So he wanted me to do it, and it turned into him buying me a heat press and all of the other things. So I've been spoiled rotten, but he's slave laboring me.
Yeah, but economy in a balance is, of I would love to see this. Currently, it is slightly out of balance, but I'm sure we'll get there with
Well,
everyone's help, with CSM's help, and with player feedback.
I 100% agree with what you're saying, and the fact that they're maybe going to loosen things up makes me very happy to hear as an industrialist, because I went from doing lots to doing nothing. I'm not going to lie.
Mm.
And I do know a lot of industrial players who were in my own corp that they just quit because they had no way of making their money anymore. But again,
It's strange because I thought industrialists are the ones that are rolling in money right now.
no, okay, I
Even
used to have all.
the price of ships and things like that.
Yeah, but the prices of ships right now are great if you can actually make them, and I
Yeah.
can't. I can't. I'm not gonna lie, I can't. And the ways that I was doing it before just don't work now. So, Redline says, "You are the first dev I've heard say that it's out of balance, so thank you for that." And again, I know it's late, so I am gonna say thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time out of your day and um, spending it with us instead of your fiance, which that's a little bit more important, bud. But thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the people behind the screen segment.
No problem. Yeah,
So-
happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
So we have all of 14 people because people must have better things to do tonight. We're gonna go raid somebody else. We can raid Large Quaif Zero. Nope, he's playing League of Legends. Ignore that. We have Judge
Casual.
Judge
Feel free,
Sharn,
casual.
Rampage Inc. Or we can raid the Imperium News. Who do you want to raid?
I don't have preference. Or was that a question for Dilana?
Well, I mean, I'm pan fam, so sometimes I don't really go towards the Imperium stuff. Let's see. And I also like to support some of the smaller channels.
I think we're gonna raid Judge Sarn because he's got the lowest
Yeah,
amount
that's
of
what I
numbers.
see. That's a good. That's a good one. So it's not really an affiliation that I know of. I don't know.
Well,
if he's
I
affiliated,
agree. We try to stay away from the big name peoples, but like I was just looking at people who had low numbers right now. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna raid Judge Sarn again. Alpha, thank you so much for coming, and make sure I want pictures